Hello everyone, good evening. It's Mike. I know I haven't put out a video in quite some time. It's been kind of like, slow for me in regards to the work on the car. Last weekend, was it last weekend or the weekend before last? I did the brake lines. I actually mounted it and put it in there. For the most part, they were good. One of them was slightly leaking, so when I was pressing the brake pedal, one of them is like completely bone dry, so the fitting worked great, which is good because I used a double flare tool to make the bubble flares I said in the video when I was making the flares. But the second one, which is the top one, when I was trying to tighten it and get it back into the place, it was tightening, but I think because the actual fitting, I'm reusing the old fittings, so the fittings are like kind of like rusty and kind of beat up. So because of that, it wasn't really like sitting properly in the hole. So when I was pressing the brake, there was a slight leak on that line. So OCD self, and plus that's a braking system. It doesn't make sense to have leaks in there. So I decided to disconnect it. The line is still ran to the back and it's still there. I just need to get a new fitting. Now, unfortunately, when I look online, I went to Real OEM or whatever that website is for BMW parts, and you look online, the that particular fitting is discontinued. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it from somewhere else. The nickel copper kit that I bought had fittings in it, but none of those fittings fit. It's either too small, that it's like it'll thread in there, but it's too loose. That means it's not gonna have a proper seal, or it's too big where it can't even fit in the hole and tighten. So I'm gonna have to try to figure that out, because once I get that fixed, then I'm pretty much good with that, and I'll take that part and make everything nice and pretty again. Now, this is a talking video. Obviously, I'm going to the gym. Sorry for sounding so tired. I'm just tired, man. I've been, going back to work and physically and doing all that other stuff like that, and my daughter, since she's been home for the pandemic, her sleep schedule is like completely off. So it's like, yo, man, she don't even go to sleep until late. And since my wife is going in this week, we kind of like do a trade-off where I stay up with my daughter to make sure she gets some sleep so she can drive to work. So anyway, enough about my life story. I'm talking to you guys about, relying on other people. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. And with any task that you do in life, we all need help from somebody. You buying a tool, you need help from the people at the store to buy the tool. You need help from the people who makes the tool so you can have that tool. You know what I mean? We all need some help in some capacity. So I'm not taking it from that standpoint like, screw it, help, whatever. But I'm saying in this regard, where it's like, all right, so here's where I'm at. I have a cousin. He's a cousin to my mom. So he's like my second cousin. He's an older gentleman. He did a lot of work. He's the one who rebuilt my alternator for me. He built my starter for me. All that, right? He took care of those things for me, free of charge, just off the strength of being family. So I really do appreciate that. So I'm not taking that away. But he's a very busy guy. So it's like you can call him, and it's like you might get him, you might not. Like, I'll give you a funny story. Like, y'all know how I was acting about my alternator. If you look at my playlist for the build, you see how many times I've been begging, like calling him for my alternator. I gave him my alternator, I want to say before Christmas of 2019, and I didn't get it back till like February of 2020. So that's how long he had my alternator, right? So, when he finally got it done and rebuilt, and the friend gave it back to him and everything like that, he had called me, said, "Oh, Michael, I'll have you come get it." It's all right, cool, I'm gonna come get it. That night, and I made a little quick video when I went to go get it. That night when I went to go get the alternator, like, if I was 1 minute later, I would have missed my cousin. Like, he literally was in his car about to leave to take care of something, and I would have missed him, and I would not have gotten that alternator that night. So that's how busy he is, right? But last week or a week and a half ago, I sent a text to my cousin, who's my first cousin, my mom's sister's son, who's like he'd been on the video a couple of times, like a brother to me and stuff like that. We've been we've been really tight, growing up. So I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, can you reach out to such and such for me and tell him that, I want to try to see if he can weld something for me, because I know he welded something for my cousin in the past." He gave me his number, so just hit him up. So I called him, and my cousin, the one who rebuilt everything for me, he was like, yeah, man, no problem. I could come and do it. In fact, I'm looking to borrow a welder from my friend because I want to do some work on my fence. So what I want to do is I'm going to borrow the welder from him, and I'm going to call you, and then I'm going to come straight to you where your parents at, where the car is, and weld up the stuff for you. So I was like, all right, cool. He said, but look, don't forget to call me either on Thursday and Friday. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So this past Thursday, I called him. Got nothing, left him a voicemail message. I was like, all right, cool, maybe he didn't get it. You can probably get it tomorrow, which is Friday. Called him Friday, got nothing. Still haven't heard from him at all. You know what I mean? I hope everything's well, which I believe it is too, because my aunt was saying that she couldn't get to him either. And I'm pretty much stuck, you know what I mean? Because the main objective really, for me, before the weather gets extremely cold, or God forbid we have experienced another lockdown where we can't do anything because of this COVID thing and what's happening with, the weather and stuff like that changing, I'm trying to get the car, back on its four wheels. So I want to get that welded, so then that way what I can do now is go and get, the subframe bushings that I need, redo those bushings, the trailing arm bushings, maybe depending on the money, because right now money is extremely tight. Depending on money, the actual diff bushing that's on the bottom of the car, and redo those. And then when I get some more bread, I could do the shocks with the subframe in the car. I don't really need to do it with it out. You get what I'm saying? So certain things like that it wouldn't affect me per se to get it done. So that's my whole game plan. But right now I'm still waiting, because yes, he might be able to weld it for me, but let's say he had to do more work. Like he might have to cut out and do that. He might say, I might need to do something else. So there's a lot of little things that is, some people don't know what they're doing. I almost had an accident. The guy stopped in the middle of the road and just dart out when he sees that I'm coming. It's ridiculous. Sorry, guys. But anyway, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm stuck, because here it is. I'm trying to get to a place where I can just get this car done. You know what I mean? I went to that car show, and I could just see myself in that car show with my vehicle and just sitting down, like just be able to drive the car and enjoy it. Right now I'm going to the gym because I'm trying to get back into shape as well and get that energy back. I've been going since they opened back up, and it's like I could have been driving my other car and leave this car for my wife so she can go if she had to go somewhere with my daughter. You know what I mean? So it's like little things like that that's kind of like bothering me, but I know it's a process. When any project car, any build is going to take time, and now that the seasons are beginning to change, I might not be able to really get to enjoy the car the way I would like to anyway. But if I could get it back on all fours with everything underneath the car done, I'll be a happy camper. So I got the brakes done. The main line that was the issue that was leaking, that one is completely done and connected, no leaks. The driver's side is done, but there's a leak, so I have to fix that fitting. So once I get that fitting fixed or replaced and I reflare it, I should be good to go. So I'm not too worried about that or concerned about that. It's just that I got to get that done. So that's a little bit of an annoyance. But like I said before, since I said while I'm down here, I noticed when I did my fuel filter that the two fuel lines, the inlet and the out and the return, had like a lot of rust underneath the car, right in that section under the wheel well. So it was like really rusty. Now it wasn't leaking, but it's the same thing like the other side with the brake line on the driver's side. It wasn't leaking, but it was so brittle and rusted that it was just a matter of time. So somebody in the Facebook group had said to me before a long time ago too. He's like, look, man, if I was you, I would change your fuel lines, because I had a friend whose E28 burned to the ground because he had bad fuel lines and it caught on the muffler and it caught fire. Now I don't want that to happen, especially I didn't spend too much money, but I did spend a good bit amount of money than what I paid for the car to repair it and not to be able to enjoy it. And then since it's so much easier with the subframe out, it would be dumb and stupid of me not to do it. So I went online. I was going to buy the nickel copper line, the same, width, or the diameter of the actual fuel lines, and then do my own bending. And then when it comes to the flaring, either purchase a kit that I can flare that type of flare, which is like a little like ring around the hose, or what I would have done is just like probably take it to a place like I have the line, I just need you guys to flare for me. You get what I'm saying? And do that. But when I went online and I looked, I saw I found both lines, and I said, yo, they already pre-bent, they already flared. This is perfect, you know what I mean? So I was already hyped. So I was like, I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to like pay attention because I'm actually driving as well as doing that. So yeah, so I see the flared line. I was like, this is great, man. I see the return line. I like to shop at FCP because they have the lifetime warranty. It's not a plug or not a sponsorship. Maybe eventually when I get more views, maybe. But anyway, they have it where you can do that. Like they have it there. And I say, if God forbid anything happened, I can return it. You know what I mean? Get another one. And they had it for $40. And I was like, all right, perfect. $40 with $8. You know what I mean? Shipping. That's $50-something with the tax and everything like that. That's not too bad. So then FCP didn't have the inlet, right? Because it's on back order, and they had it for 46. And I saw another website that had it for 35. So I'm like, I'm gonna go for the 35. So I went to the website. I said, I'm gonna order this one right now. It's all under $100. Let's get it cracking. So I go to order it. I check out on the cart, and then I see $411 in shipping charges. I was like, $411? I was like, nah, that gotta be a mistake. I was like, when I saw the total, I thought maybe I had something in my cart that was more, and I said, let me just double check. Maybe I pressed it 3 times. No, it's a $411 freight charge. I'm like, no way. I was like, I'm not spending $411 to ship a $35 part to me. And honestly, I understand the whole freight idea because, like, honestly, the way it looks, like, I think the pipe is already bent to shape, and they're not going to like bend it so you can ship it. But I'm like, to me personally, that is ridiculous. Maybe like $30. Even if it was like a $50 charge, I can understand that. I spent less money shipping the transmission that I bought for the car for the manual swap. That had the transmission, drive shaft, what was it? Flywheel, all that. I spent less money shipping that to me than what they were charging me on that website for a $35 part. Okay? Now that's ridiculous. Now I paid a good amount of money for the transmission swap, and I only had to pay $100, maybe $150, I think, to have it shipped to me from Chicago. Okay? They're charging $411 to ship a pipe. A pre-bent pipe. Now what baffles me also is that on FCP they have the return hose, right? And they would ship that to me. Now granted, in the pictures they have the return hose kind of bent, right? So I'm assuming that maybe in the middle they kind of bend it up to put it in a box to ship, but it's not crinked. It's not, it doesn't have a kink in the bend, so that way they can actually still, utilize that and ship it. You know what I mean? I can unbend it and then use it, in the car. So I'm like, what's the difference with the inlet? Because the inlet, from what I'm seeing under the car, they look exactly the same. It's just one goes to one area and one goes to the next. So for me, I don't understand that. So, I said, what? All right, screw it. I'm not going to trip. I'm going to call FCP Euro. Let's see how this whole back order thing works. So I call FCP. I was like, hey, FCP, how you guys doing? I spoke to a nice guy. He helped me out. And I was like, look, I see you guys have this part. It's on back order. And I wanted to know, how does that work? Do you guys anticipate getting any? And if you do get it, can I drive to your location and pick it up? Because FCP Euro, from where I live in Queens, is only like an hour and a half away. Now, I will spend the money in tolls and gas to go there to get the part, because to me, it still will be cheaper than $411, right? The guy was like, nah, unfortunately, it's on back order. There's no telling when we're going to get it. And even if we did have it, you have to ship it to your house because we're not allowing any store pickups. So now I'm pretty much screwed. So I'm still debating what I'm going to do. Like, most likely when I do get a little bit of change, I'm going to order the return line and probably do that one individually. And I'm going to ask the forums, if the line is pretty much almost the same, I'm just probably going to buy 2 returns and just feng shui it and bend it in the spot that it needs to be, because this is like a budget build. Like I said, I'm trying to make do with this. If I can get those lines done and completed, it'll give me such relief that I know that those things are complete. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, at first it was looking kind of daunting when I heard I gotta redo brake lines. I was looking kind of scared, But then when I looked at all these little clips I gotta remove and the actual bending of the line, I was like, this is not even that serious. It wasn't even that bad when I actually took on the task, especially when I was flaring everything and doing everything. It wasn't even bad. So I was pretty excited with the results. It's just getting it done. So it was a little time consuming, but it's just, getting it done. So I'm just stuck right now, man. I just want you guys to pray for me. I want you guys to, like, if you know anything or any place where I can get these things or where I can get the fittings, just let me know, because like I said, I'm really trying to, make some headway. It's starting to get cool now. It's like maybe like 75 degrees. You see me wearing a hoodie. I mean, it's not that cold. I'm wearing a hoodie, but I figure whatever. But I'm saying that, how the weather can just flip just like that. And then it was saying that, this winter or this fall could be a really cold fall and winter. Not like last year when we didn't have much snow and it wasn't that cold. So you never know, and we don't know what's going to happen with this whole COVID thing. And tomorrow is never promised. And I don't like to sound like morbid like that, but God forbid, like I am praying and everything's good. But I want to get this thing done as soon as possible. So any help will be greatly appreciated. I know it's like a one-take video and it's kind of long and there's a lot of talking, but I really do appreciate you guys for the support. I really do appreciate you guys with the help. And please, if you guys can like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please log into YouTube and subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. Please give it a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, whatever you want to do. Just please, your feedback is greatly appreciated, and it does help getting the videos out there. Like, for instance, I try to Google fuel line repair for E28 and I don't see anything. So I could be possibly a person putting something online soon to be like one of the first videos, or somebody, just putting the videos out there to help the community and help other people in my situation and in my predicament. So I want to thank you guys again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great week. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And God bless.